All right. You know what? I'm gonna give you the first hydrate. That's what matters. Okay, hang on. I gotta make sure I'm not gonna echo here. Raiding with a party of three. I think I was one of the. Wait, did I just raid my own thing? I think I did, right? I was in the raid that raided me. All right. Okay. So math is hard. Big math numbers are hard. Game math sucks. Game development sucks. Computers suck. Math sucks. C sharp sucks. Everything sucks. And that's the way most of my day has gone. Okay, let me show you. This sucks. Everything sucks. I'm gonna run the game here. Hold on. I sat down now. Again, look. This bloody game. I've been documenting, right? I got my game development design documents here and everything, and I thought, it's a nice Sunday. Let's fix some bugs. Is all I can say. I'm gonna run it right here. Hold on. Yeah, the raid is you, me, and Adam. Yeah. We raided ourselves. Hey, we weren't wrong, right? Let me reset everything here. Hang on. Okay, so the problem I wanted to solve was we were not getting round numbers, right? For when various things happened. There'd be like 13.2 hackers or 10.6 script kiddies. Why? Well, let me tell you. So, hey, and everybody watching the stream, you're going to solve all this for me. This is great. Just try adding off by one. So I'm using a large number library, and it's fantastic. It's always been great, except when I wanted to do this. So what happens is, you can see I've got it broken down here on the right-hand side, right? There's a coefficient and a magnitude. So, for example, when you hire one script kiddie, it's easy, right? One. I'll explain why that didn't work in a second, because again, I've been messing around with stuff, okay? But it's a whole number. Super easy. 1 comes off the newbie, 10 comes off the newbie hackers, right? Actually, it is working right. And 1 goes on the script kiddies. Because the coefficient, right, of newbie count is basically my whole number right there, right? Super easy. However, the problem becomes when I implemented the much needed higher max button. So what it does, it knows the cost of getting a script kiddie. It's 10 newbies. So you do some math, right? You divide the total number of newbie hackers, in this case by 10, whatever number you get, great, that's how many script kiddies you're going to get. So add that to the script kiddies, remove it from the newbie hackers. Easy, right? Yeah, boom. It's easy now because I've fixed that part of it. But the problem is, these numbers are doubles because that's the way the library works, right? And therefore, let me just make sure that I reverted my code back to where I think I did. Okay, so you see how right now everything looks great, okay? Right? So we're going to get to 11. We should have 1 newbie hacker. awesome. However, let's let this run for a little bit while I read the chat room. Your big int library. Oh man, I hate to have to recode everything yet again. Yeah, people keep chatting. You dang people like this. Mono's not even. How did you time him out? He's not even here. Or is he? I don't know. Okay, so look, when we get to 41, right? It's good. We're going to let it go to above like 11, right? We're going to test this here. So let's go to like 17. Should be 7 newbie hackers, right? Afterwards. But it's not. There's your problem. However, right? And I get what you're thinking. Like, this is simple. Yeah, I thought so too. But no. So let's dive into some code here. All right. So I've changed this a little bit, right? So what I've done here, I'm going to go back to what it was originally, and you're going to see the problem, right? So actually, hang on. Let's go back. Let's remove that one line of code, because I want you to understand what I'm getting at. Because this is so stupid. All right. So look, I'm going to set this to 1, right? I set this to 0, set this to 0. I'm just going to reset all the numbers here. Okay. We get to 11, higher max. See what I'm saying? 1.1. There's no such thing as 1.1 hacker, right? So let's let it go a little higher. Okay. Except I just lost 10 because dang it, game. Okay, now the only way this is going to work is the chat room's got to go a little slower because I can't do both. I can't play it, talk it, and read the chat room. Okay, so 0.61. You get the point, right? They're doubles, okay? So by doing this, I'm getting the incoming coefficient, right, from this. I'm setting it to a ceiling, math.ceiling, C# by the way, of that coefficient, right? So, and then basically setting it. So that gives me that nice round number, okay? Oh, I can see it's going to be one of those days where like I can't, you're going to have to go slower. I can't talk. If you're going to type quicker than I can go through it, we're going to get nowhere here. Okay, no, originally I was not editing the coefficient. In theory, if I don't do this at all, it should work just fine because I'm just adding a large number to a large number and removing a large number. And it should be fine. But at first I thought it was just a display problem. We're going to go through all this, all right? Because I have spent hours and hours and hours on this, trying to figure out if it's a display problem, a data problem, whatever. Okay, so originally I wasn't editing the value because they should be whole numbers, right? Let me catch up on the chat again. Okay. Okay, so let me start by explaining, which I already did, but I'll go through it again. I'm not storing them as a double. I'm storing them as a large number, but the large number library uses doubles. Okay? So it's not me choosing to use it as a double because, you know, this is designed for games, septillions, quadrillions, yada, 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 yada. Okay? And it uses doubles. Arguably, I never wanted to do it this way to begin with because realistically, they just need to be ints. However, you're going to run out of ints, right? Because you can't have like umpty diddly quadrillion hackers in an int. It's not going to work because that's how I originally wrote version 1 of the game many years ago, and eventually you hit the wall. Okay, I'm trying to catch up here with everything. All right. There's only 5 hands in this chat. Surely you can talk and read faster. Yeah, but they're on 2 different screens, dude. Okay. Did Mono actually post something somewhere that I should read? Or seriously, help me out here, because I'm not kidding. I've spent hours on this and I'm really fed up with it. Okay, so yes, right? If I remove this, again, it's doing the right thing. So, okay, clearly I was hoping, this is why I didn't stream this, by the way, because lots of hours of debugging on this that you haven't seen. All right, but we'll do it. Look, so we're just gonna no, wrong language. Hold on, debug.log. Oh, jeez. By the way, Z is great for this. So if I start doing newbie new count dot coefficient, if I can spell it, actually, you know what? Hang on. I think if I do this, yeah, look, see, it's really good at like, I'm way ahead of you. Okay, so we're just gonna do this, and you'll see. This is where it gets like what? Because the number to me, it's a freaking nightmare. I never want to do a game again that has these kind of numbers. Let me just put it that way, right? I'm gonna reset the numbers here. Okay. So we're gonna let this go. We'll see it. I know it's small. I'm on the Mac. Frickin' Unity, why won't you let me scour the bloody interface on the Mac, but you let me do it on the Windows? Just saying. Drives me nuts. All right, so look, 21, 22, 23, right? Okay, of course I'm gonna lose them. I hate it when my game works right. You're like, shit, I did not need to lose them at that point. Okay. I'm going to get to the chat in a second. Again, you got to let me go through this, right? Okay. See, look. Newbie. Okay, stop. Right. The newbie coefficient here is 0.2, right? There's 0.2. So, let me go back to the chat. I can sense I'm not going to make any progress here. Coco Type, on point number 1, I agree with you completely. It seems like there's a big... And I would dearly love to show you the documentation, but the documentation only exists in a PDF file that comes with the purchased package that I've got. So I can't... It's... You know what I mean? I can't just put it on the screen as such. We'll get back to that in a second. It seems like there's a big integer type in C# standard library, and you shouldn't need the large number library at all if you just want ints. I tried it. Again, we are talking... Remember, so version 1 of this game, I did not use this library. And the reason I abandoned version 1 of this game was because if you play it long enough, you will eventually hit the limit of an int. Be it signed, unsigned. Truthfully, it was so long ago. I think I tried a big int. I honestly can't remember because we're talking years at this point, right? But also, the other advantage this library has is it will not only handle them, but give you a nice displayable whatever, quadrillion, billion, trillion, so on and so on. All right. Understand. It's not like I've only been working on this for 5 minutes. Please understand. I have tried a lot of things that I've not put on stream. We're not talking a 5 minute and gave up. We're talking like a long bloody time. Okay? This library works beautifully in a different game that I made where you don't need these whole numbers. Or it doesn't matter if it's a whole number or not. And it works beautifully. It's fantastic. It really is good. I mean, it's a few years old, but math is math, right? You know. Okay. So, catching up here. And apologies, I know it sounds like I'm probably coming off a bit short, but again, you got no idea how much time I invested in this system and everything. What are the other properties of the newbie count struct? Can you log the coefficient? So there's a coefficient and a magnitude, right? There is literally what you see on the interface here, a coefficient and a magnitude. I get it. I know I'm not showing you a lot, but again, I don't want to just... Since the documentation isn't public, I don't know... I want to respect people's copyright. You know what I mean? But just give me a minute to think something through. You spent more time debugging than I did waiting for the simulator. Exactly that. I'm not kidding. When I hit the wall with the numbers, that's why I abandoned version 1 of this game a couple of years ago, because I knew it's like, shit, I gotta start again. So I know there's a limit, and I know I'm gonna hit it because I did it. All right, let me just be clear. It happened. That's why I stopped working on the game until I figured this, like, okay, this library solves the problem. But if you'll be patient, I know asking internet people to be patient. Good Lord! All right, give me 1 second here. I need to do something. I will be right back. All right. Okay. All right. For some of you, Discord, go look. Okay. So the infuriating part is I feel like this should not be a problem. Because under the hood, I'm confident the math is doing the right thing. It just looks like shit on the screen, basically, is the problem. Right? So my original approach was, okay, maybe I've just got to fix the way it displays on the screen, because it seemed like the actual data was good. But then every other day I second guess it, is the answer there, right? However, let me Let me go back here. Hold on, hold on. Let me run the game properly, all right? So, I'm gonna run it here. I'm already logged in as a player, all right? I've created my account and I'm logged in so I can just go in and play it. When I play it, it wonderfully loads. I mean, you don't want to know how many months it took me to get the game data loading and saving system working correctly, but it is. Okay, so it would suck to give up now because I thought that was going to be the hardest problem, and it was for many months, but I've nailed how all of that works, and so I'm satisfied with that. And then there's it's just this stupid problem, basically, right? I mean, it's not working right now because there is other code here, and let me I can roll back a bit on the code. It's fine. I mean, I know what I've done here, right? And yes, this is not final code. This is figure the shit out code, right? So yes, it looks like shit and there's lots of repetition, but that's what you gotta, that's the way I work. When I had weeks, months where I don't get to work on this. So understand, you can criticize the shit out of my code. I don't care. I'm going to ignore it because there you go. All right, just putting it out there because I know what internet people are like. So yeah, there's that. I will say that working in Z on this has been good. Let me go over to the main game logic where I made some other changes. And the reason I say that is because, let me show you. Here's the code for the max button, right? Higher max. And so to get this sort of working right, again, things that I don't feel like I need this because I didn't have it in there originally, where I set this to an int and then do the thing. The problem is, it looks like it fixes the problem, but I actually feel that in some ways, it's potentially fixing the problem in the wrong place. And so it's kind of masking the problem, if that makes sense, right? That's my gut feel on this, because I should not have to do this, right? This is a large number. This is a large number. This is a large number, and this is a large number, all right? So I added this in today, and I don't feel like, I feel like I'm masking the real problem. Let me get back to the chat here for a second. Name one time we said anything bad about your code. Oh, that's going to be a long stream. But, hello, Mono, by the way, now that he's finally untimed you out. Is that even a word? This is still just editing the coefficient. If you aren't ensuring that the magnitude matches up, it'll still be a non-whole number. No. Okay. I just said this was not here originally. And I feel like it's not fixing the problem that I think it is. So, yes, because I wasn't editing. Okay. I'll just do it. I wasn't doing that. Let me be clear. I was not doing that. This was an experiment earlier today. Okay? I was not editing the freaking number. I don't know how many other ways to say it. All right? I'll delete that out of there. Okay, let's go back and run this again. Thankfully, I can easily reset the data in this. Can you log all the values in that function, both before and after you do the plus minus calculate? I can. To what end, though? Because I've done it for myself and seen it. So all I'm saying is I can, but if you tell me what it is you're trying to see, I can probably tell you whether I saw it or not, if that makes sense. Right? I get it. I appreciate it. I'm showing you stuff for the first time that I've seen for like a million hours. I understand. So look, I'm going to set this back, right? Let me reset my numbers here. Okay. Hang on. I gotta set these back here. Just bear with me. Okay. There we go. We're going to reset the game back as if it's just starting. All right. So that's like if I just started playing the game. Okay. Bug. You're dividing. Sorry. Hold on. Oh, see, chat's going quicker than I can read it. Hold on. It doesn't matter if it wasn't there originally. What I'm saying is that the bug was there. Yeah. Changing that coefficient isn't fixing it. But it's still, I feel like that's what I just said. Okay. You're dividing two floating point values and ending up with a floating point value. If you don't round that value, it'll still be yeah, I feel like you're just saying what I said, basically, but yes. I'd be curious to see the int values before the calculations. There are no ints before the calculations is what I'm saying. They're doubles, right? They're doubles through and through in the library. Then, okay, sorry, hang on. Int values before the calculations, then the non-integer value after. Then use those inputs as basically a unit test for any potential fix. I gotcha. Although, I'm still of the opinion that since I'm not, before screwing around with a few things, and I've just reset it. At this point, I'm not, those large numbers are just large numbers against themselves. I'm not messing with them in any way as far as coefficients magnitude. Does that make any sense? So whatever their calculation internally is, it is what it is. Does that make sense? Right? Okay, hold on. So that it's easier to iterate on fixes than to reset and rerun the game. Yeah, no, agreed. The problem, the reason I reset it is because depending on when I start and stop it, the wrong data could be stored, bad data could be stored in the cloud at that point, right? Does that make sense? So by resetting it here, I know that it's not downloading bad data. Does that make sense? Okay, wait. So you know what the bug is, and you've, well, see it scrolled, hang on. And so you know what the bug, well, no, I think I know what the bug is. Let me be clear. I'm not saying definitively it is. I think it is. And you've done nothing to fix it, is all I'm trying to get across. No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I've been exploring most of the day to figure out, is my assumption of what the bug is correct, right? So all of that is to try and figure out, is the problem what I think it is, or am I still wrong, right? Okay, there were still doubles that had integer values, basically. Oh, okay, sorry, Adam. They are doubles. Technically, they should not have point values, because at nowhere along the way am I doing anything to make them become point values. Does that make sense? Right? So, for example, 10 Nubias for one script kiddie. At no point are these not whole numbers as far as what I'm doing. Does that make sense? Right? They are, but he's dividing 500 divided by 3 is going to end up as a non-whole number, even though both inputs are integer values. Agree completely. At one point, when I first started doing this max button, and this is the reason I put the max button off, because I knew when I did 500 divided by 3, it's like, that's not going to be a whole number. It's essentially not going to help me, right? And that is where I thought, and I'm still not convinced it isn't, that's the crux of the problem, right? If that math is done a different way, and I'm trying to think how to explain it, this problem may not occur at all, right? So 30 divided by 10, it's 3. Great, it's 3. But if it's 3.1, clearly I can only hire 3 script kiddies, right? And I should only remove 30 from the newbie hacker value. Make sense, right? At least in my brain, that's how that should work. So I think it's the division math that's actually throwing it off and causing the problem, is my 2 cents. Give me a minute. I got to catch up on the chat. So in Adam, where you said about the first time the data goes bad, yeah. Hey, Nala. That's where I think it goes bad. That is exactly where I think it goes bad. I'll go to that code in a second once I've put up on chat. Show that code that does. Thank you. Yes, that's where I think we should go. Right. So give me a second, and actually, I am using Zed. So Coco, if you want to, you can certainly dive into this code. All I ask is don't do anything that will make it harder for me to work my own code. But you know what I mean, right? Of course, I trust you enough to give you access. I'm just saying there's a lot of very unpolished code. Don't polish it, okay? But I can do that. But let me find it, okay? So hold on. I gotta follow it through here. Main game. Okay, so there is. I gotta find it. So on the resource list, right, inside the scroll area, we gotta drill down a little bit here. Oh, does it? Okay, it's been a while. I don't remember how to do it. Oh. Okay. I can't remember. I think you reach out to me, right? Yeah, okay. No, wait. Do we have to do it the other way around? Let me know. All right. Oh, hang on. I got so many things flying at me in all directions. Where am I? Am I up to date on the chat? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Did it? All right. I think that does it. There you go. Okay, so let me find it here. Give me a second. I'm trying to stay up to speed here. On here, in here is a button, and it goes to resource row higher max button press. Okay, yeah, I remember this. So in here is a file. Resource row. And it's going to call back to this. That's what I'm looking for. So in main game logic, right here, right, there's a lot of debuggery figure shit out code. Okay. But let's go into this, right? So I want to upgrade a script kiddie. All right. If newbie count is more than the script kiddie upgrade cost, get a new large number, divide newbie count by script kiddie upgrade cost, right? Because again, we could be talking quintillions and whatever, and then we set the script kiddie count plus that upgrade count. And I think this... Oh, I can hear you.
For one thing, you are dividing and setting equals here, which is changing newbie count and script kiddie count in both of these cases. So you want to get rid of both of these equals, for one thing, because you're setting them anyway. But then the other thing,
Sure.
this line right here, this upgrade count, this needs to be floored first.
Okay, hang on. Sorry, you'll have to say that again. I got the volume turned down so it didn't echo, but...
Yep, I just left it in the comment.
Okay, so this is... See, okay, so hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. So, because I want to sort of explain what I've done, right? So I did play around with flooring, ceiling, and you probably saw it earlier on. But I felt like this might not be the right spot because I didn't do it here. You with me?
Yes, I think at least what I saw, and you may have done it somewhere else, what I saw was you were flooring and sealing only the coefficients, which is not enough in this case.
Agreed.
And so
Even though magnitude is not in play at this time, it will be.
it will. Something, I don't know if you've heard the other thing that I said earlier, which was that you have these equal signs here, which is changing your values before you want to change the values.
Yes.
And so
Yep.
that's another problem is you need to get rid of all of these equal signs.
Sure. Agreed.
Fine.
And I've...
Yeah.
That was something... I've actually got a note here because I felt like that was a problem. But I become so obsessed with this. You know how you get on a path, right?
Yeah. But so I'm sitting here deleting them all. But the biggest thing that you need to figure out is how to floor a large number as a whole, not for just the
Absolutely.
coefficient.
That was
Or
my first plan of attack. Was I need to floor that, and I couldn't find a way. So I thought, okay, what if I floor both parts? Isn't that essentially the same thing? But I'm not sure that it is.
it is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, do I have access to the large number definition? I don't.
Yeah, actually, you should. It's right here in scripts, large numbers.
I see large numbers meta, and that just shows me a file format.
There should be a CS file for each.
I'm not seeing a large numbers CS file.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I see a whole folder. Never mind. Yep, I got it.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah. That is the actual package.
Okay, so large number equatable. It's only equatable. I'm just trying to find. Is there anything in here that helps us?
Did you look over in the Discord at...
I did.
Actually, you know what? It exists in that folder too. I just didn't want to show it on the stream. Yeah.
Not much.
It's not extensive.
Yeah. Fix.
By the way, folks, the voice you're hearing is God. No. It's the best Swift.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me, folks, The voice of reason that you hear is Coco Type. Go give him a follow. Actually, give him $1 million. He'll like that more. Yeah.
That'd be nice. Give me a job.
Yeah. You know, if you all, I tell you what, here's the deal. If you will give me $1 million, I'll give him half of it so he doesn't need a job. How about that?
So yeah, there is no realm or floor.
Nope.
Okay, so hold on, I'm alone.
And that's why I was like, shit, I got to step out and do it in C# itself, which is not great.
All the rest of this is like string formatting code.
Exactly that. That was one of the reasons, by the way, that it appealed to me, because that's important too.
But yeah, like, because, yeah, I see you've got large number dots in this file, and you've got alphabetic notation, which is just string formatting.
Yep.
You've got scientific notation, which
Yep.
is just string formatting. And you've got string builder extension, which presumably is just string formatting.
Yeah. No. That's really the major core of it, and I don't want to speak on their behalf, but the way to get around these limitations of ints of any size is, oh, I see what they did. They broke it in two, and then they combine them, and then they make it look nice,
Yeah, exactly.
which is great
The,
if that's what you need. Not quite what I need.
figuring out how to floor these values. The upgrade count specifically. Like if you floor the upgrade count, then you're good. And
Everything else should fall in line.
everything else is fine.
Yeah,
Just
because
floor the upgrade count just so that you can say, because yeah, like you said earlier, you can't get 3.1 script keys, so you get 3, so you're flooring that upgrade count.
yeah,
3.
and the leftover.
What you're working on from there is, like, the leftover doesn't matter because what you're doing is you're subtracting that script key count from your whatever. Yeah.
Right,
Your
but
you're subtracting your newbie count.
but the leftover has to still exist on the newbie count.
It does.
Yeah.
Because you've already floored the upgrade count.
Yeah,
And so
Yeah.
that's the only thing you need to do is figure out how to floor this upgrade.
agreed. And that's why I naively was like, well, this should be simple. Turned out not so much.
Not so much. But yes, I do think the other thing that we've already cleaned up was all the extra equals is probably like doubling down on the problem.
Sure, no. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I also told myself, like, you know, this might be the first part of the problem, not the whole problem, but it clearly is part of the problem, you know?
I mean, so the answer that I would do here is this is where I would reach out to Quadcode or something and be like, okay, I've got a large number value, even in here, just like feed it this entire directory, just open Quadcode to this directory, say, take a look at this large number thing and write me a flooring function that will floor that.
Let's do it. I tell you why.
I would try that.
I'll tell you why I say let's do it, because when I don't know if you recall, when I was trying to, and I think I did it on, maybe I did it on stream and gave up. This large number situation is where Claude Code did disastrously bad at saving the data to Unity Game Services. You know, I mean, it just went from bad to worse. However, I feel like this is a more specific,
Yeah.
I would say more base C# math kind of problem, right?
Yeah.
So,
This isn't even C# math. This is just like, hey, you know this standard way of doing large decimals? How do I floor that? This is like the kind of thing it should be.
yeah. So I'll bring up a terminal here. I stopped.
Okay, before you open Quadcode,
Yeah.
the only change that we've made on this code base so far are these lines that I've edited.
Yeah. Let me make sure Yeah, and I also want to make sure that it was happy to compile it, which it was. Okay. Um, bum, 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 bum. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, what else in there? What edited in player data and main menu?
So anytime you just basically open a scene, it's going to register that, oh, you changed it. Right? But a .unity file is the scene file that you see behind the thing, not a quote code file. You know, think of it as like a layout file, right? I'm trying to remember main game logic. I did something, didn't I?
The main game logic was the one that we just touched.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. And then player data is the one where basically I've reset this back to, I would say, where it should be. Which is don't futz with the numbers.
So yeah, and
Yeah. All right. All right, Claude. See if you do better this time. Okay. In the main game logic.
no, don't touch main game logic. No. Say I've got a large number .cs file. Because all we care about is what it is.
Well,
Got a large number .cs file.
hold on. One second. I am reluctant to change because Claude did this to me before, and it changed the actual. I'm going to call it a library itself, which is great until someone releases an update and then.
You can tell it not to change the library, but just say, tell it where to look first is in large number CS.
Yeah.
Got a large number CS file that implements a large floating point value. I want you to create a new file in wherever you care about putting it, that adds a function to floor large numbers.
Not large. Double.
Or not flaw.
Oh. Floor.
Floor.
Large.
And then I would say large numbers as in like say it as though it's the instance, so LARG, like as the type, not large.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I know I've spelled it right.
Like large number, one thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, there you go. That whole thing. See what it does.
All right. By the way, I just want to point out to folks, you may have seen it here, Bezier. Bezier is kind of Unity dedicated, Claude-like thing. Works fantastically well. It's been awesome, but I'm out of credits. So let me just stop there. Otherwise, I'd ask that.
Do what you want, right? Because that's what the coefficients were. That's exactly what you tried to do, and it didn't work.
Thank you. I'm actually glad to be wrong that I was right, but that's wrong.
That's wrong. So I would say no until Claude did what to do differently, which is, isn't this going to not, this doesn't seem like this is going to work for cases where this ends up with a non-integer value. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Why didn't you like the first time, right?
Flooring just the coefficient wouldn't get us the correct mathematical form for entire large numbers. That's exactly what I've been saying.
Right. That's what I'm saying. This is where I ended up with Claude was like, yes, you're just telling me what I'm trying to tell you to solve. Would you like the floor function to return the floor of the complete number? Example, work differently based on magnitude value. So actually,
We want number one.
we really do want number one for this. Yes. Also, looking at the large number implementation, I see it keeps coefficients in the range. Typically, so for a number like that, it would be stored as... Yeah. To properly floor this, we need to convert to the actual value, floor it, blah, 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 convert it. Yes.
I feel like the problem, so I would say it is the behavior we're looking for, but if we're converting back to an actual value, isn't that going to fall outside of the big number, like range?
Yeah, no, I don't have a high degree of confidence in Claude to solve this, just based on the fact that after hours and hours of working with Claude before, where it went through the source code, it went through the documentation, it searched the web and everything else, it thoroughly failed to understand large number.
And that's weird, because this is, like, not a strange thing, which is why when I said earlier, like, I saw that coefficient, I was like, that's not going to work. I didn't need to know how the internals of this work. It's like...
Agreed. This is why I agree with you. This is why I gave up, because I failed to like, how is Claude not understanding very...
This seems like a thing that Claude should not have no problem with.
I mean, it's not... It's just C# and numbers.
Yeah.
Right?
I have no idea why this is throwing that.
So, I mean, we want number one, but I don't think it's going to work eventually.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I would say something like, this sounds like the correct behavior, but by converting it, aren't we going to lose the ability to handle huge numbers that we're using the library for in the first place?
You're absolutely right. Once we get above 10, it won't work. And you, I mean, oh my God, be thankful, folks, that if I didn't stream a lot of when I was trying to solve the cloud save problem with these large numbers and Claude, be thankful that I didn't, because I think it would have to be an unrated stream at that point, because I had some very choice words for Claude after many hours of trying. Excellent point. For very large numbers like decillion, we can convert to a standard double, floor it, and convert it back. We know this, Claude. The entire purpose of the large number library. You know, when every time you're like, isn't Claude just trying to make me feel like it's being smart by telling me what I said?
I think what it's, you can finish reading it, but I think what it wants to do now is correct.
Okay, hold on. For a number like magnitude 5, we need to remove the fractional part. Yes, that's the whole freaking... Yes. The tricky part is when we have something like coefficient 1.9 and magnitude 1. Agreed. Floor of that, but the actual floor should be 9. Yes, that's the whole crux of it right there. We need to consider how... No, I don't need to consider anything. I need you to consider how many whole number digits are in the coefficient based on the magnitude. Let me create a floor function that determines if the coefficient has meaningful fractional digits, considering the scale. Yes, because that's what my brain couldn't figure out. Floors appropriately without converting to a double. Okay. Renormalizes the result if needed. Should I proceed with this approach? The function will work entirely. Yes. Because it did mention the one part that my brain is not smart enough to figure out. Even though it was smart enough to identify, well, there's your problem.
Me neither, and that's why I said, why the hell are you asking me to help you with math? Matter of, okay, so yeah,
Okay. Sorry. Hang on. Let me. Okay. Mono's an adequate Swifter. Oh, Mono's doing his thing where he talks about completely unrelated things. Yeah. Love ya. Oh, he's battling Swift UI navigation bars still? Is Swift UI ready for production? Oh, here he goes. Mono, don't pick on Swift UI. You do it every time. Actually, Adam, that's gonna happen. It will. It was gonna happen, and then someone said, "Hey, you should do a stream," and I got distracted. Okay, let's look at this. Large number extensions. All right, returns the largest integral.
Move the window slightly to the left because it's getting hidden behind the chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. Oh, if I'd have looked at the stream, I probably would have noticed that, right? Mono. Mono, just go play with the cat. Surely you've got 50 new cat toys by now. It's been a couple of days, right? Returns the largest integral value less or equal to the specified large number. Large number floor. This large number. Okay. Handles 0 or negative magnitudes. Okay. If the magnitude is less than or equal to 0. You see, okay, interestingly, I did start to think down this path. But the more I thought about it, the more I felt I was misleading myself. Okay. For positive magnitudes, we need to determine how many digits of the coefficient represent whole numbers versus fractional parts. Okay, that's probably not what occurred to me. The actual number is coefficient time. Okay. Yeah, that my brain would never come up with that. Yeah. Determine how many decimal places in the coefficient represent fractions. Since coefficients, it is now with different. Okay, and the other funny part about this, folks, is you see this in games all the time. So you think like, actually, it shouldn't even be a problem, and it's just a thing that just exists that works, right? Check if coefficient is already a
Still doing the exact same thing again, I think.
whole number.
Any fractional part of the coefficient still represents. We want to floor to 130. If coefficient equals value of coefficient. If the coefficient is already floored, it doesn't matter because again, hold on. Magnitude floor. Okay, because it's multiplying by. Yeah, because now we know the magnitude is at least 0. So okay, that actually does.
Okay, so maybe
make sense.
see, this is where I felt like, nah, Peter, you're hacking this the wrong way, buddy, because I started the whole thing in my brain of, well, just have a different thing for a magnitude of 0.
It's still not entirely correct, I don't think, because of this. It's flooring the full coefficient, which is not. Yeah, we want to floor to 100. Yeah, 123.456 million equals that. We want to floor to 123 million. No, we don't. We want to floor to 123,456,000. That's not what we want. Yeah, this is still wrong.
Yeah, okay, so I'm relieved you said that, because I feel like I say, I feel like I explored this path before. And the problem became, and this is what Claude did to me last time. And maybe it's because I told it something I shouldn't have, which was, it would come up with a solution, and it would work great up to, say, a magnitude of whatever, 3. And then a magnitude of 4 would break. And so I would tell it that. And then it would write a whole different section for a magnitude of 4 onwards. And then eventually that would be wrong. And so on and so on. And I just felt at that point, it's like this is just wrong, right? Because you can't have the idea of different code blocks for different levels of magnitude up to, I don't know, whatever, infinity, can't be right. I mean, that just inherently doesn't seem right. Honestly, I feel like I need some sort of award. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, what? What do you need an award for? Because I nerd sniped CD and Coco with one stream. Yeah. Cat now receives my payslip. Yeah. Okay, Mono, you've made it. Well done. Yeah. Okay. What I'm questioning is if there's even any point in trying this and running it.
This is not going to work now.
I don't think so.
I would say no until Quad wants to do differently, and say your example is wrong. We want 123.456 million to return 123,000.
Okay. Sorry. Slow down. We want
That the 123.456 million to return. And then the value that is there, 123, 456, 000.
Yeah, but if I tell it that, I feel like it's going to get it wrong.
And then say not 123, 000.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get it right. It's crazy to me.
I don't know why this is.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
This is something that Claude should be able to watch.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. I mean, I'm terrible at math, right? But computers are really good at math. And so, well, so I don't understand. And forgive me, maybe I'm just being stupid. I don't understand why this is such a problem. Wait. Okay. The floor should be no change since it's already a whole number. Yep. But if we had something like 4, 5, 6, 700. Where did he get that from? The floor should still be, yeah. The fractional part only matters when the actual. I mean, it's like just look after the decimal place, right? When the actual full number has decimals, for example, floor should be, yeah. So the issue is with coefficient magnitude 2, the coefficient stores more precision than we can represent as whole numbers at that scale. We need to figure out which digits in the coefficient represent fractional parts of the actual number. Okay, let me reconsider. Magnitude 2 equals 10. In my head, I'm saying 10 caret 6. Coefficient has approximately 15 to 16 digits of precision, double. I mean, it doesn't need to be that precise. But, okay. The last 6 digits of the coefficient will represent a fractional part of the whole number. This is getting complex. No shit, Claude. Should I calculate based on which decimal places in the coefficient actually represent values less than 1 in the final number? How's Claude doing this session?
That's why I was telling you. One.
I'm going to go with 1. Now it's just going to resent me. Truthfully, I don't know if Claude and I are on the same page here.
Yeah, I like I said, I am surprised this is not something that is just one shot. Like, this seems like it is something that you should have had no problem with.
I mean, okay, you know what? I guess we could go at this a different way. God, this could be worse.
I'm trying something completely off.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm actually wondering what happens if I ask Claude to essentially create what it thinks is a good version of this library. And I don't feel like it's going to help any.
I mean, I think the answer is that at that point you should just port everything that you have over to use big integer.
I mean, God, rewriting the whole shit for the third time.
The thing is, this is how I would have expected this library to be implemented, and so I don't think you're going to get a fix.
It is. I think it is a few years old at this point, but it's not like this math has changed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. If you go, I don't remember whether I saw the PDF or whether I saw it in the document or anything. It's like this is based on a paper that was written in the 1970s.
I think that was in the PDF. I think. Yeah. I mean, and okay, math is math, but I wish to God. I know this is terrible, but you know when you hit a point, and for everyone on the stream, thanks for hanging in there, but you'll see in the real struggles of game development right here. I wish to God that I just quit on this game, but I don't want to. And the other option is, well, just pivot. But then I'm like, but I don't want to. And because this is such a stupid problem that I can't believe this is the stumbling block, you know, of all the things. I mean, I guess I could. I guess I could ask Claude, hey, can you convert this to use begin instead? But I still feel like with begin, I would hit the problem eventually.
I think the only Big Int has no max the same way that this does. I think the problem that you run into with this is Big Int doesn't have the string representations.
I mean, what I actually, okay, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just like need to step away from it at this point. What I need is a version of this library that uses ints and or big ints and not doubles.
You need something that's going to take the big int and then just can you use the big int library and then somehow use this library, or sorry, not the big int library, but the big int standard library stuff, and then somehow use that and then use this library only for the strings?
Yeah. See, that's the whole... And you've kind of hit on... And again, we're talking about going back years at this point. Part of the driver... So number one was obviously within signed or unsigned. There's a limit, right? Yeah. Obviously. So, you know, and remember, folks, we are talking years ago when this was like my second ever idea for a game, so I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And then I hit the wall with ints and realized and learned. Great. Sometimes that's what you got to do, right? And then I thought, well, there's got to be a way to solve this. And like you just said, this is kind of where I'm going here, is the best answer is to be able to solve this with no library at all outside of the standard C# language, right? Because then you're in very familiar territory and it should just work. But the attraction of this library, or the part that this library solved, is the second part of the problem, displaying those numbers. Because I looked at several options. I even tried in my brain to try and figure out several options where it's like, well, look, maybe I can just figure out how, take this number, make it quadrillion, whatever, centillion, and so on. And then I found this library that solved that part. So I don't recall in the documentation if there is a case of I can just throw a number at this library and it gives me the string version, but maybe there's the opposite. I can look at how that string version works and just create a string, displayable string. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, don't take the code, but use it to create my own or whatever, and just go with big ints. I would settle with big ints if it solves the number problem. Frankly, that's a bigger problem right now than the displaying of the string. But that would be a not 5-second rewrite that would be worth doing and exploring, because again, I've been working on this for years, and I think at this point, hopefully everybody can understand why, because you hit stupid weird problems with idle games, that big numbers that other games don't have to deal with. And because I thought about capping this game in a way that I didn't hit this problem and could just do away with it, but then that just felt wrong. Or maybe it's just telling me this is a bad idea of a game to begin with, which I don't believe is true.
I've got a new one that I haven't fully reviewed yet, but I'm going to dump it into Zed and we can review it together.
Okay. But I think it sounds like we're in agreement. Claude feels like it's trying to solve a different problem.
Your version is, at least.
Yeah.
Okay, I dropped this large number.
Large number floor, I see it. Okay.
Read through this. This one looks more robust than the last one.
Oh, this is okay. I see. So how did you come up with this?
I fed it to a better model.
Okay. All right. So how does this work? Let's look here. So same philosophy, just coded differently. Is that what you're saying?
I think so, yeah.
Because I mean, it's looking familiar at this point. All right. So calculate how many complete thousands we have in. Oh, wait. Does it break it?
I think it does. I think it's breaking it up.
Yeah. Okay. And as long as it breaks it up in a different way than Claude did it previously when I played with this. Okay. So if it's a whole number, return it. Right? All right. All good. If the magnitude is 1, floor it. Okay.
Floor the fractional part times 1,000. For higher magnitudes, we need to preserve the floored fractional part for removing any subunit fractionals.
Why?
I don't. This lower one in the else step here feels like it should be in a loop, and I'm not seeing.
Well, my initial thought is, why does it feel it needs to... See, this is what concerns me based on what happened before. Why it felt that 0 and 1 needed to be separate. And then everything else after that doesn't need it.
Well, so this is where I was getting with the else, is that, like, yeah, 0 and 1 should be separate. Else, I feel like this should be looped through and essentially be removing 1 each time and then do that. Whereas I think this is going to round us to the nearest 1,000 every single time.
Sorry, the nearest what?
1,000.
Yeah, which is... this is the magnitude, right?
I would try it, but I'm not entirely convinced.
I got...
This is going to be better than the version that you have, at least.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
This will work 100% definitely up until you get into the millions. After that, I think it's going to round to the nearest 1,000, and then I don't know what to do after that.
And the problem there is, obviously, and this is me saying it more for folks listening on the stream, if there is anybody, If there is, thank you. Um, with an idle game, you hit millions exceptionally fast after you played it for a little while, you know? Okay, so how do we use this?
I mean, we threw it into the thing, and that gave us a.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you editing elsewhere?
No, I just dropped it into your project basically, and so you've got a large number floor.
Yeah.
And so I think you have a large number of extensions. Oh yeah, I guess I could edit your main game logic. So then this is large number of extensions dot floor baby count. I think that should work there. Make sure that I code that correctly. I do think that that should work. So then just like basically do this on every single.
Yeah, well, hold on. Let's just do one, right? Because that's what I learned was like, oh, let's just test one. Because otherwise,
Okay. Well,
I mean, it doesn't
I've already
matter,
added
you know,
I've
but
already added it to three. So
yeah,
it should be
it doesn't
fine
matter.
at
But
that point.
it sits nicely with, I'm going to use in air quotes, correct the number before we use that number for anything.
Yeah.
Which I've always believed is the way to go. Even though it still seems a bit weird sometimes that it's like, why do I have to correct the number anyway? But, well, yeah. Are you finished?
Let me go ahead and try
Yeah.
up and running.
Okay.
See
Let
what we
me,
got.
let's see what, is it happy? Okay, that's a good sign. Nope, it's not happy. All right. Large number floor.cs 10435. The type large number extensions already defines a number called floor with the same parameter types. Actually, I should be able to just click on that. Oh, it's going to open Rider. I don't want that.
Oh yeah, that is super weird. That's.
Let me get rid of Rider because I don't want that.
I'm just fixing that.
Yeah. I need to repoint it to
Yep.
Z.
I think I fixed it. If my
Okay. No, it's good. It's compiling. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's run this. We'll reset.
It made two static functions as opposed to a static function and an instant function, but since we were only ever calling a static function anyway, it doesn't matter.
I do actually have a function that resets all the data, but I don't have it hooked into the interface anyway. Let me reset these numbers a bit. All right. I just want to get us to a good place. Newbie count. Okay, there we go. Let's run the tests. Okay, so higher should always work like it did because that's separate code anyway. That's easy. Nope. Wait, let me run it again. At 21. No.
Oh, it only took two. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. Okay, let's go look at this.
Yeah.
Maybe there was something. Upgrade count. So maybe count divided by script kiddie update cost.
What the hell was that noise?
Right?
Oh, thank you for the follow. Sorry. I'm so used to not hearing that sound. Care Hollow Law 1, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome to our pair programming, you know.
There's definitely a mess. There's something wrong with the code in here. Anyway, kitty count. This needs to, or sorry, script kitty upgrade cost. That needs to be there, and that probably needs to be there.
I'm sorry. I don't know where you're looking.
In main game logic, we subtract the number of.
Oh, got it. Okay. Is that you? Was that you or me?
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Okay.
We're subtracting the upgrade count as opposed to the amount that we cost, the newbie count that we cost. So we need to multiply this back times script kiddie upgrade cost. in order to remove the correct number of newbies.
Well, hold on there though, because I mean that was where are you? Oh, it looks like you're there. That was working.
Because of the extra division that you were doing before.
Oh, okay. I mean, I get it. We're talking like now. Now it could be a different ball game, right?
I think it was working before, but accidentally. And we need to make it
No, and that's the part of the problem, right? Because you can hit some magic numbers where you think it's working the way you think it is, and it ain't. Damn you, magic numbers. And to be clear to folks, eventually, once this is figured out, like with so many of these things, once I've figured them out and there are no bugs, this is clearly in need of a refactor because it's all basically the same code on different things.
Try running it again.
All right, that's happy. And for those watching the stream, part of the reason I reset this again is I don't want there to be any bad data anywhere that throws off the debug, right? As good old Adam Wolf said. Thank you, Adam Wolf. Yay. All right. Let's let this get to 21. So that should give us 2. Oh, of course I'm going to lose them. Damn you when the game works right. Okay. I got my 2 script kiddies, but we didn't.
But it didn't remove enough characters. Okay.
Yeah. But hang on, let's test another number, right? So let me test whatever. 36.
Oh, okay, hang on. I see exactly what happened.
Okay, but to be clear, the script kiddie part is right.
Wait, hold on. What has happened here? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong map. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea what's wrong. Scripting count minus upgrade count. Well, I can multiply by scripting count instead of scripting upgrade cost. Yeah. Let me check all the rest of them.
Did you say check all the rest of them?
I was checking all the rest of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yep. I see what was wrong with that one. Then we should be good now.
All right. Let me stop that. Okay. See, we should just do the UI Buzz podcast and talk about why game development is so fucking annoying.
The last time you added me on podcast, I killed it. So.
No, it wasn't you. Remember, the numbers went up when you came on it.
Yeah, but I drove the original host to not want to do it anymore.
That's not true, folks. That is not true. The original host just was completely out of, like, I'm not even writing Swift at this point. Even I don't believe what I'm saying.
Are you rerunning the code now?
I'm sorry?
Are you rerunning it?
Nope, but I can. I didn't see that it... Okay, there you go. I didn't see
I
it.
think I fixed it for you.
Try to recompile. It was a skill issue. Yeah, Mono. Yeah, it's exactly what it was. All right, let me... you all know what I'm going to do here at this
3 points, Tim. You got Mono have some points.
I'm sorry?
Said Mono can have some 3 points now too.
Yeah, give him something. Throw the dog a bone, right? All right, let's get to 21. Well, okay, yeah. 2 and 1. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, I mean, I can punch in any number here. I can override it, but if I override it too much, we're...
Test the right version.
Yeah, exactly. We're kind of, So let's do 20. 0 is correct because it's going to go up again very quickly, so that's fine. That was something where I was like, okay, awesome, I can live with 20. It only needs to be 1 at the beginning of the game when you first play it the first time. All right. I don't think I've gained enough on anything else. No. Let's do 44. — All right. And now I want to do, say, 16. I want to go above the 0.5. Okay. Now let's introduce some magnitude. So we'll go with 1.
Oh, there's.
Yeah, see, it's all a bit wonky.
I didn't quite catch what it did that one.
Yeah. Well, this it should be going up by 1.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
So are you editing the coefficient somewhere else again, where you're adding 1 to the coefficient?
Well, obviously the game tick itself adds 1 every game tick, right?
But what it adds 1 to what? Where is that code?
Well, oh yeah. No, sorry. It adds 1 to. So if you go up, hang on, I gotta find it here. I'm not sure. Let me check this. It's been a while.
On lunatic action?
Oh, we just invoked the action. Hang on. Okay. Well, actually, what we do, update player data, update newbie count, because it could be more than 1. Let me be clear. You'll see what I'm talking about, right? Because that count of 1 per game tick, you can get an upgrade to make it go quicker. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not it.
We're gonna take newbie count equals newbie count plus equals newbie tick game.
Yeah, which
Newbie game tick count.
should be. Hang on.
Newbie count equals newbie count plus. You see, this is again. You're doing the plus equals.
I know. I'm with you.
It's not
In the player data, right here, see this? Is where it's defined. Actually, I think you're in the file player data. Look at line 43.
Okay. Trying to figure out how to get to where you were. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Branch number 1, 0.
Yeah. I'm not sure where you are. I think you're here. Yeah.
I had been down further. Is where do you? Yeah. Update newbie count happened every tick, so that wasn't the problem.
No, because it was working fine until we pushed a button.
I don't understand why newbie count equals newbie count,
So
newbie tick game count.
you see what I'm getting at, right? I mean, again, it's large number plus larger number. It's straight math.
But large number here is just like the problem is the way that I read this is that newbie tick game count is always 1,000. But then in that case, I don't know why it ever goes up by 1.
Well, it shouldn't be 1,000.
I think it is. I think 0 magnitude equals 1,000, which was something weird in the large numbers thing.
So let me think about that for a second. Why would it never have been a problem until now?
That's what I'm confused by as well.
You know what? We can test this, right? Because if I make this 1, we're saying, we might see this go up by 1,000 as soon as I start playing it, right?
If you make what one?
Change the magnitude from 0 to 1.
You can try it.
But to be clear, you understand what I'm saying about the reason this exists is because it won't always be 1.
The problem is, I think large number 1, 0 is already 1,000.
Okay, well, so if we do
I
this,
don't know if it was always 1,000. I don't know how at the beginning of the game it only ever goes up by one.
agreed. And that's kind of where I'm like, if that was the case, it should always have been wrong.
Can you go back to 0 on that one and rerun it now?
But bear in mind, it's got game save data at this point.
Yeah, but just reset that.
Yeah. So let's put this back to 1, right? Hang on. And then the magnitude I've got to set. You bastard. There you go. Hang on. All right. No, see, the magnitudes are automatic. I'm not doing anything, and it's putting the magnitude to 1.
How do you call your reset thing that reset everything?
Let me put that button in effect because it won't take but a second. Well, okay, I haven't used this since I implemented the save system, but it doesn't matter. It should do. It just saves me.
Can you just chuck your save data?
Yeah. No, well, that's what I'm saying. It just saves me changing these numbers manually. When it saves, it'll save whatever the save data is, right? So,
I'm saying just like can we reset by just chucking your current save data?
it took me so long to get it working. I'm loath to try and fudge with it at this point. all the reset does is override all the values.
Just do that. Just do that.
Yeah. I mean, it should,
Do it.
let me just put it there, right? Okay, hold on. Player data. Reset all data. There we go. Okay. That should be all it needs. Let me get to that. There you go. And what's also weird.
That was working fine. So hold on. I think the first thing I want to know, newbie count right now is 14 magnitude 0.
Which is correct.
Okay, so magnitude 0 must mean 1. I don't know why the thing that I was looking at earlier thought it was 1,000.
Well, it'll be 1,000 when it goes to 1.
It is 1,000 when it goes to 1. I guess, yeah. So each level of magnitude is 1,000.
According to Claude's analysis.
Zero is ones. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so like if we did like, let's just do this, right? We can watch it happen. But it's still doing the right thing.
It is. Yeah, because it's only adding 1 to the coefficient. Okay.
Right. So if we go to 2, I think at this point, right? You see how this works. Obviously, 1,000, million, so on and so on.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still only adding 1 per tick. Okay, so why did we see 1,000 per tick?
Well, so let's explore that. So I'm going to do what I did last time, and we'll see if it happens. All right, because it did it after the higher max. First of all, I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's just make sure. Oh, wait, it's already broken. I didn't do anything. When it got to 10, it didn't, basically.
When it got to 10, it did what?
Right, watch. 9, 10. Ah, you bastard. It worked this time. It didn't work last time. Oh, okay. Damn it. I forgot. We've got these random events going on. I got 10 newbie hackers. Okay. God, I hate it when the other parts of the game actually work right. I'm going to now hit the higher max, right? So we still got a magnitude of 0. I'm going to wait for 51. That's correct.
No.
The first time.
It was only when you messed with the magnitude before that something went screwy.
See, I don't think I punched in the magnitude. But I am noticing down here. Do you see this one down here on Dark Web Coins where it's like -1?
Yeah, because it's less than, it's 1,000th.
I mean, actually hacking power was -1 too, yeah. Okay, well let's... I'm trying to break it at this point is what I'm trying to do. And it could be that I punched the number in at exactly the wrong moment, of course.
It could also be the fact that I believe that equals fix whatever we were saying.
I mean, it's working right.
Fact, hang on. I want to look at something in large numbers, yes.
You know what's funny? Since you came on here, the chat room went completely silent.
I did ban one out for a minute at one point earlier.
Ah, well, there you go. See you. Quick, Mono. Take your chance, buddy, while you can.
I think part of the problem that you might be seeing is that there is actually no implementation of the plus equals equals implement operators on large number. I don't know how C# handles that, so
I didn't think about that. Hey, Mono, you can talk about whatever you want. You know that. I'm sorry?
Maybe those things don't work the way that I think they should work, but I don't know. But, I'm just saying there's no implementation of them for large number.
Well,
And so,
I mean, maybe that's just it. Maybe I just took normal convention and it's not a thing in this case, right?
I fixed all the bugs.
I mean, I'm not being able to break it here. The only other thing I can do now is, without fudging the numbers which might break it, because I break the number halfway through a script running, is to let this run on my iPad for a very long time and then try it.
Yeah, I think the point at which it would break is over 1 million.
I agree. And I actually could, well, you know what? Here I am saying that. I can cheat. Right? I can do this real fast.
Switch your default ticks to 1,000.
Exactly. Well, actually, I wasn't even going to do that. I was going to do the game reset. Which I think is this one here. Yeah. So...
Just set that to 1, 2.
Yeah. All right. So it'll be wrong at first, but... also, where's Mono? My Xcode needs a crash and restart. Mono, just leave Xcode. It'll take care of it for you. All right, here we go.
All the cool people don't use Xcode anymore after Peter's last stream.
Yeah, did you not see my... Mono was here for the stream. Yeah. We're all using Zed now.
Why is it ticking up by a million right now? Did you...
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Look, the magnitude changed to 2 and I didn't do anything. Which means...
Yeah, something weird is going on.
the part that's weird is got to be
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why is the newbie tick? Yeah. So the newbie tick counts magnitude changed. How the fuck did that happen?
exactly. We didn't even, as far as I'm aware, we didn't change anything unless you accidentally typed something. But I feel like you would know
I
that you
did.
did.
Yeah. I haven't touched anything recently.
Exactly.
Get newbie game tick count. Where the fuck is that?
Player data.
Yeah, newbie tick game count. Okay, that doesn't help us at all. Newbie tick game count. Set newbie tick game count.
Yeah. Unless I left some code in there from me screwing around earlier, but I don't remember screwing with the newbie
I mean,
tick
the
count.
only thing that I can think of is that something got pointed at the wrong thing somewhere, and I
I feel like
searched the entire project.
I'm gonna
Okay.
curse myself here by saying that feels like an easier problem to find. I can sit and look at that.
I don't know how to search in an entire project in Zen.
I don't either. Find in folder, I guess, is the closest.
Project panel, new search and directory. Hey, I found it. Okay. So we're searching set newbie game tick count. Happens in player save data? That wouldn't matter.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, no, newbie game tick count on line 138 of player data CS is setting newbie game tick count to 1, 2.
Line 138.
138.
You know what? My bad. I think it was me. Sorry. God, Peter. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was probably it.
So it looked like it was doing it right, because the first time around it probably would have been right.
It was.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Why did it jump all the way? Oh, okay, I see. I see.
Yeah, because, okay. So now if I
Yeah,
do...
now it's ticking up by 1 at a time, but it just started at 1,000,000. Yeah. So that should get you to 100,000, right? Right? Yeah, okay. So that may be what screwed up, is that it rounded to the 100,001.
Yeah, I mean this... Yeah, see...
That's an entirely different thing.
I was going to say, frustratingly, we're sort of back where we started, but somewhere else.
That's right. But the problem is, you had 0 script keys before, right?
Yes.
How'd you end up with 100,001 as opposed to? Well, I
Well,
guess-
because it was a million, right? A million divided by
It
10.
was a million, but it was a million and 10 divided by 10 got you to our. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so. Let's run it again.
Because
Yes, because that's not exactly a million, right?
Yeah.
It's just that we're not displaying the point.
Hit it now before it count. Hit it now before we get up to 10.
So that actually is correct.
Yeah. Okay. So that did work. Okay.
Yeah.
Because my concern last time was you clicked it and it went to 100,001.
No, I understand. I mean, I think there's still a problem. Because actually, so it went down because I lost 10 newbie hackers. So just to be clear, that's exactly how it should work. But what's wrong here from a display perspective is it shouldn't just show 1 million. It should be 1 point blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Because it's still going up by 1.
Well, I mean, yes, but you don't want 1.000000 million.
No. Right, and that's kind of a... I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a
I do think, unfortunately, the answer is still ultimately that the correct thing to do is just switch this all over to Big Int and write your own equation.
I'm feeling more confident about that than trying to second guess based on what I believe is happening here and how it's doing it, because like, you know, just showing 1 million, or eventually 2 million, whatever, or 1.1 million, it's still not playing the way I want it to. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
And I feel like I'm chasing a problem that's like, no, pick a different battle.
Yeah. The problem that you're dealing with this .999 is just inherent to the system.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No,
Because both that coefficient and that magnitude are doubles, like
yeah. No.
be able to precisely represent every single whole number. So
And I feel like, you know, I could fix it at the display point more than anything, right? But again, I still feel like I'm having to hack on things that don't feel right, you know?
yeah.
Or eventually it's like, yeah, you hack it now and it'll be great, and then you'll find a number that doesn't work and you're right back doing it again. And I don't want to deal with any of that. So I actually feel like I do want to make a separate branch and explore Big N. And if it solves it, we're running with that. Simple as that. And the whole display thing, I feel, is an easier problem to solve than the actual math.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you working through this with me and the chaos that is this bloody stupid math. Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir. I know it's late for you.
See you later.
See ya. Hey, everybody, go follow. I'm going to give him another shout out here. Hang on. Shout out.
Follow the person that never streams anymore.
Yeah, he never streams, but you know what? If you all follow him, he might start doing it. And he is the best Swifter. He's really good at Swift, folks. Trust me. Yeah. All right, catching up on chat here. Replace this build. Cancel when none of the buttons did anything and the dialer would go away. You know, Mono, I had a situation earlier on iPad OS 26 where it gave me 2 buttons. And one of them said, okay. And the other one said nothing. And these were system dialogues. And I happened to know what the other button did, so it was okay. But I was like, shit. Apple, test shit, right? I'm looking at a button with no label on it. How do I know what it's about to do? It might say trash all my data for all I know, right? This is why you don't use Xcode. Yeah. All right. I am going to take a break here for a second, and I will be right back, and we'll do something else in this game, but we'll do something else. I'll be right back. And we're back. God. Priceless. Priceless. So moderator card. Okay. So I got the coffee and it's like midnight. About 2 hours after I needed it, but we got there. Okay, so I want to show you. So I'm not gonna sit here and explore the big int thing on this right now, because that's gonna be a whole undertaking. I do want to show you something else. We're gonna save this. Let's get rid of that. Okay, hold on. I had an idea. It's very early stages. I was playing a idle game, because you all know how much I love idle games, right? And this idle game was very simple and this is kind of, I think, what intrigues me about idle games. I'm the Undertaker. What? As in the... Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was a wrestler for the longest time, but had to retire, you know. Yeah. Okay, so... What this is... I'm fascinated by... Thank you, Coco. Appreciate you, buddy. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. Greatly appreciate your help, as always. So... I'm fascinated by these idle games that are hugely popular, and yet I don't want to say completely pointless, but they're like, why? You know? And I think if you play idle games, you know what I mean. Ooh, well, I don't know. I mean, he's doing okay. So, to explore this, I was like, I got an idea then. I got a simple, stupid idea. And I'm wondering if I should make this and keep it a stupid, simple idea, or over-engineer it with features like I always do. CD has never once had to deal with Kevin Hart. That's true. Yeah? No, no. You know, he wanted to be on the stream. So the reason I say that is now I'm going to play the game and I'll show you, right? So I hacked this together in like, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe. It's called Endless Evolution because I feel like Endless is on brand at this point. I'm going to have a Pringle. Sorry, I'm really hungry. And all it does, you start at 0. We have clicked 0 times. Okay? Hopefully you can see this. It's a little small right now. There you go. Didn't help much, did it? Hang on. All right. And the reason it's small, you'll see. So when I click it, randomly rotates. All right. You see what's going on there. And when I get to 5, it's going to evolve to a new texture. Now I got to click it 10 times to evolve again. It is so crazy. Like, so many idle things I've seen that are completely pointless, but you get the idea, right? And so I was like, maybe I'm onto something here, right? This is so stupid, but I feel like that what it is people compete to be, you know, top of the leaderboard, and they will endlessly, pardon the pun, click on things for no reason, just to get to the top of a leaderboard, right? So each time right now it's doubling, but I can completely control this math. But it's a random texture, um, right? And I'm gonna cheat. Uh, don't do this at home, folks. I have Keyboard Maestro installed, right? And I have a script here, Auto Clicker, for these kind of idle games. I know I'm confessing right now, but it's gonna my Mac is now gonna automatically click for me 4,000 times if I hold down Control, Option, Command, which is my trigger key, plus the dot. Look, all right. As long as I'm over that now, it's gonna click for me 4,000 times. Shh. But you get the idea. This is all this does, right? But these kind of things seem really popular. So I don't know, chat room. What do you think? Like, obviously, I'm not saying that this is it, but this was basically the idea. And then I started to like scope creep it into something more meaningful, which might be part of the problem, which is, what if at some point you evolve? See, there you go, 4,000 clicks. It's actually clicking quicker than it'll register it. What if, I'm going to run it again. What if at a certain point, it's like, hey, you have completed, you've reached the achievement of evolving a sphere. Now evolve a cube or whatever. Or the other idea I thought was for endless evolution. Eventually, it's like a cell. It'll subdivide and so on and so on. I don't know. It's a completely incomplete idea, but how many clicks until it tells you to go to physical therapy? Yeah, you feel it. But I don't know. I wanted to get feedback from the chat room, and you'd have to be an idle game player to really get, like, why would you even do this? Because that's the point of a lot of these idle games is like, why does it even matter? Like, there's a really good one called, it's like Circle something, and it's just a circle that goes round. And you upgrade it, and it goes around quicker and makes another circle. I can't remember what it's called. It's massively popular, and that's all it is. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I mean, I can't explain why people love these things other than the competition element. But before I explore this any further, I wanted to get a feedback from some folks in the chat room like, oh yeah, you should just make a very simple game of this and throw it out there and see what happens. Because there seems to be no logic as to why things like this become really popular. And the other thing is, you might not be able to tell, but it actually gets slightly bigger each time. I don't know. Like I say, I really would love to hear what folks think about it. It would take like no time at all to just make this and throw it out there on itch.io or something. It's just random rotation, subdivide the texture, and random colors. That is all there is to this. It's crazy simple. And if you don't tap on the sphere, nothing happens. So of course you could potentially have other things that you tap on. And then, like I say, you're like, okay, well you could do something that you consume to auto click for 10 minutes. I don't know. You should do it with the earth texture. So actually, I thought about that. And that was sort of a little bit along the lines of this idea that I did have for a game unrelated to this, which was sort of, evolution itself, right? Again, divide the cells, and then, oh yeah, the planet is a rock, and now it's got whatever, I don't know, lava, and now it's got land mass and sea and blah blah blah, right? But I think someone's done that. I'm not sure, but I got a feeling someone's done it. It explodes and starts over with Mars. Well, okay, so you mentioned that, and another idea that I had for this instead was, like, I can't even remember the name I thought of, but basically I think it's because I was playing Power Washer, a Power Washer 2. You keep tapping, it's something, whatever it is, like a balloon or a beach ball, and it's things that you blow up. So you tap it to blow it up slightly, and then eventually, yes, it gets to a certain point, and it explodes, and yay you got that achievement. Now blow up this rubber ring or whatever. You get what I'm, like something like that. Just basically things that you blow up with air, and eventually, yeah, they pop, and you get something for it, and then you're going to blow something else up, and that sort of, I don't know, something along these lines. And I like the idea of the different planets too, and then it's like, oh well, look, now it's a solar system or something. But again, I didn't want to overcomplicate it. And what I mean by that is, I find a lot of idle games are also like, you open it up the first time and you're like, what the hell is this? This looks really complicated. But then you discover it really isn't, but it looks like it's overcomplicated. Each click increases the opacity of the texture by 0.01 for that pixel of the planet. Oh, I see. Okay. They only win when the earth texture is fully visible. So you could do that. You could do something, and then instead of just clicking on it like this, you actually have control of the rotation, so you can rotate around to find the bit that needs working on. I guess something like that, maybe. I mean, this whole thing is like completely crazy simple, right? So the idea here would be, I guess the competition element is, a leaderboard, right? But then where's that fine line between, okay, now you've added too much stuff, I don't know. But I like the suggestions in the chat room. Seems to suggest that maybe this is something, yeah, ship it, right? Secondly, no, exactly. And that's what I'm saying is like, is this literally the first version of the game, right? And then when you get to a certain point, it's like, okay, well done. You have. There has to be, with idle games, the repetition is the thing, right? Prestige, restart, the evolution level tends to be the driver, but there has to be a point at which you have a goal for that sense of achievement when you get to that goal, right? So, yes, it could be this forever, but I don't think that's the answer, because eventually that texture will subdivide enough that it'll be solid. And I can cap that, and I can cap the size of it. but I don't think that's enough of a satisfaction with it. So I do think that there would be, okay, next, pardon the pun, but sort of intentionally unintentional. The next evolution of this game, the next release of this game, is that you add a leaderboard, right? So you make it known that something like that is coming. So start getting your score now, so that you're not bottom of the leaderboard when it comes along, unless you're new to the game. I don't know, stuff like that. I'm just curious to see. It's kind of that thing of other people do these crazy things, and you're like, wow, and there's so many people playing it. And can I do that? Which is always the question behind everything I do. Can I do that? I don't know. Because I'm not getting the growth from Endless Hurdles that I want. But I also recognize that the game is everything it should be, or I intended it to be, right? And anything beyond there is new scope, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that game was meant to be a particular thing, and it is what it is, right? And so I should start to think about a new thing. But I could use the Endless as sort of a branding part on this. I mean, if I gave this to you, the person watching the stream right now, and I get it, I guess I'm talking to the idle players here, or like a stress release relaxation thing. How long would you do this before you're like, I'm bored, moving on, right? If there was no, like, if you knew that you find, okay, I get it, I unlocked a new shape or whatever, and you're going to keep playing it at that point. But if you didn't know that and it was only this, how long before you were like, I'm done? You know what I mean? You think I should use, Nutty, you think I should use a AAA game engine for this? Well, I guess Unity is too, but, That's funny. You should ramp up this whole big engine for this thing, right? Yeah, we need ray traced reflections. Yeah, all that stuff going on, right? We need to access the front facing camera so I can see my face reflected in it. Ooh, actually, that's not a bad idea. This guy NZ, how you doing, buddy? You've been missing all the fun. What you been doing, my friend? How's the summer going for you? Must be moving on, getting to the end of summer by now, surely. Raining and windy. Oh, it's just like here in Texas. Yeah. What am I working on? Well, funny you should ask. We spent the first couple of hours, Coco Type and myself, debugging and trying to fix some math problems. And I know, been there, right? With Project Hack. And this, Endless Pokeball Tapper, yeah. This is, as I was saying to the folks, this is a stupid, silly thing. Yet these stupid, silly things that are so simple seem infinitely popular on platforms. And I don't know why. So I'm like, I think I could come up with one of these. 5 clicks to evolve the ball, right? Tap it once, rotates. Great, random rotation. So I'm going to tap it 5 times and it evolves. It's slightly bigger. It's subdivided the texture and it's got a new color, right? But now I got to do it 10 times to do it again, right? And then every 5 evolutions right now, hang on, I'll get there. It'll subdivide the texture. that's it. And it'll get a bit bigger each time I tap. That's it. Not incredibly complicated to do. And at this point, I can cheat. And I'm going to tap 4,000 times, no hands. Just to accelerate life a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, this was a 30-minute idea based on some other games that I played, and was like, wait a minute, I see people playing these things and I don't understand why they do it. So let me make something that they can play, and I want to understand why they play that one. Yeah, and then of course we started to like scope creep ourselves with like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, and yada yada yada. And before you know it, you've got a whole RPG based around clicking on a ball. Yeah. But since I've shipped Endless Hurdles Halloween and update to Subradar and slowly working on Project Hack, very slowly, I felt like I needed something different, and that's when I thought something stupid and simple. This is what we got. for reasons that I don't know. But then why do people play these things? I don't know. is the truthful answer. I've never figured it out, but they do. And I do too, and I don't know why. Reason equals yes. Yeah. Because we just do. So anyway, that's you know, it's crazily simple to do something like this, by the way, folks. Well, I've spent a while with Unity, so I guess it's easy for me to say that, but I'll show you what's going on here. We just have a UI canvas and so on and so on. We have this ball, right? Actually, sorry, that's the UI. My bad. On the main camera over here, I got a sphere. I've got a checkered texture on this, and I can override all these, of course, here, but I've got a checkered texture on a sphere, and it detects when you click on it, and when you click on it, it runs a script. This one is just the texture. This one is just the UI. This is, let me think. Can I do this with, well, it's going to open Rider. Let's just do it. I really wanted to open it in Z, and I need to set that up again at some point, but did I didn't double click it. Okay. Yeah, you can trust this code. So all it is, there's a lot of extra stuff in here because, you know, again, I started to overthink it. But this is just UI stuff where I can set up defaults, right? Plus a value for the clicks and so on and so on. I'm sure this is all very familiar to everybody. I've got a vector 3 for rotation and a camera, right? And a texture generator that generates that texture. And we just hook things in here. We update the UI. Every update, we just say, hey, if it's rotating, right? We got a timer on there. It's going to rotate for just a little bit. And it's going to do that. It's going to make a random rotation, and it's going to do it. Okay? Super simple, right? If the mouse, right, we're checking for a click. Is he clicking on it? Yeah, okay. If he is, you know, check, is the mouse over the sphere? Yeah, it is. Okay, great. Well, in that case, sphere clicked. All right. And all it does is increase clicks by 1, start a random rotation, and evolves it. That's it, right? So random rotation is just a random rotation number. To evolve it, we just evolve the levels, the clicks, and so on, and we just check on the texture, and we make it slightly bigger. And then I've got this thing, like I say, where it's like, have I met the certain level of clicks to evolve it, and update the UI. That is all there is to this. It's crazy simple code, right? Notify. Have a good one. Hey, folks, you need to go follow Notify. His game streams are a lot of fun, and he is an awesome Swift UI and app developer. You need to go check him out, especially if you're into Swift and shapes and everything else. He's just a Swift UI and math genius. No pressure. Have a good one, my friend. Yeah. So this was a little exercise for 30 minutes that, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should do it. Yeah. And like just put it up on something. It doesn't even need to be an installable app. I mean, it could be played on the web, for crying out loud, right? On itch.io or something. I don't know. It's almost so embarrassingly simple that it goes against everything I can think of to ship it. But then there's plenty of these out there like that. I don't know. Just don't know. Anyway, it's just after midnight here for me, here in Texas. And I think I have covered everything in this stream. A good reason to make it. Simple. Exactly. But I feel like I should just do a little bit more. But I'm trying to guard myself against what that little bit more is. Right? It needs the UI not to be broken. There you go. It needs some kind of reward other than the satisfaction of doing this, right? I mean, it doesn't, but I feel it does. And the most obvious one is, well, what I can't decide is another random shape, which maybe gives you a limit there, right? Circles, spheres, cones, whatever, toruses, or this actual shape evolves on each evolution in some way. I'm sure I could probably come up with some kind of math to like randomly evolve this shape. Very much like fractals and everything else, right? And maybe that's the way to go, so that each time it's unique to you as the player, right? Something like that. And then, see, already I'm overthinking this, because I was going to say, then eventually you could share an image of your generated shape, but why? I don't know. Got to give it a little more thought. I feel like it needs one other thing. I mean, I can add flashy effects for when you tap on it and superfluous crap, right? But I feel like it needs one other thing that makes you want to do the 80 clicks, right? And then bring the leaderboard in later. But I also don't want it to become an entire evolution life simulator, even though that would be awesome. What I don't need is something that occupies the rest of my life, like Project Hack. So, yeah. I gotta think about it. But I want it to be... I want it to evolve programmatically, so that it is as much of a surprise to me as the developer as it is to you, the player, right? I don't want it to be like, Oh, everybody's got to the cube level. Everybody's got to the whatever level. That's just boring. You know. Maybe you could have subclicks, like the object rotates inside the the object rotates inside the object and ends up turning into an image or something and get you an award. Then the next shape image pops up. Yeah, no, sounds similar to like this idea of there's a maximum for the sphere and you've met that, you've got that achievement, awesome you, well done, let's start you with a new thing. And that is one option for sure. The other option is to randomly evolve this shape, mesh, whatever, and see what that does for us. That could get really messy. I don't know, but maybe that mess is part of the fun. But yeah, no. You're on the right lines. That's you know, something worth thinking about. I don't know how long it would take me to do this. I guess I could use AI for what it's worth, right? We could do this. Okay. Let me think. Maybe because by the time I figured out how to do geometry programming in Unity, I don't even know that there's a repo for this. This was like, oh, there is. Okay, there's the project. Okay, let's try it. Hang on. Oh, it's not a Git repository. Okay, let's just completely break up project. Let's just try Claude, shall we? I mean, what could go wrong? Okay, I have a no. Evolution sphere is a script that controls a sphere on the screen. When it reaches the evolution level, I want the sphere object to randomly generate new geometry. This is probably not something it's going to understand because I'm probably using all the wrong words. Attached to the sphere. Add 4 new faces to the sphere. That's just going to subdivide them probably, right? Let's just go with this. Use a maximum of 5 new faces to the mesh when evolving. I don't know what this is going to do for us. Yeah, this guy NZ, something like that. Yeah. I have no idea what's going to come out of this because it's bloviating. What the hell is bloviating? Adding mesh evolution functionality to randomly generate 1 to 5 new. Okay, so it's a mesh filter and a mesh. We're just going to go with this because, again, I got no idea where this is going to go. Do you want to make this infinite mesh for evolution? Yeah. So simple so far. It thought for 1 second. That's often how long I think. Calculate clicks needed. No, wait. Yeah, okay. You're going to call that function. All right. Yeah, this is the one I want to see. Ooh, ooh, dang. Oh, that's a lot of code. Okay. Randomly generate 1 to 5 new faces. One, okay. Create a vector 3. Some mesh triangles. Normals, UVs, okay. Pick a random existing vertex. Oh, this is gonna get weird. Vertex is the base. Yep. Create a spike or pyramid. Ooh, from this vertex. Create two-sided vertices for the pyramid base. So basically you're going to make, I guess that makes sense, right? I said 4 sides plus the base to a pyramid in this case. Add the vertices, calculate the normals, add the UVs, create the triangles for the pyramid. I feel like you're focusing a bit too much on the pyramid, but okay. Update the mesh, recalculate. I feel like it's going to just focus on pyramids here, but okay. And I get it. I did say 5. And I realize at this point, I've sort of just made a self-generating fractal thing. It randomly picks 1 to 5 locations. See, it's picking a random location, but not... Okay. Oh, okay, later one. Adds 4 new faces to the mesh. All right, we'll give it a go, shall we? This is either going to be really interesting or really... What? Okay. Oh. Working out better than I thought. We can get it to do better, but this is actually better than I expected. All right, I'm going to run my automated clicker here for 4,000 clicks. What I'm curious about is if it adds pyramids to pyramids. Why do I feel like I just invented a virus? Right? Oh, I see a pyramid on pyramids. Okay. I think I've just invented a new strain of COVID. yeah, I made this auto-click script to save me some hassles, this guy NZ. This is actually way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. Oh, boy. I feel like I should, if I don't click on the sphere, I want to be able to rotate it. Oh, shit. I bet I can do that. Hang on. If I click anywhere that is not on the sphere, I want to be able to drag while the mouse is down to rotate the sphere so I can see it from any angle. See where this is already gone? Oh my god. It sucks to think of new things. I'm just going to let it do the changes, okay? This evolved way faster than I thought it was going to. Hmm. Right? Oh, damn. See, now I'm going to be spending way more time thinking about this than I ever intended. Okay, here we go. Ah, man. Okay, I'm going to click anywhere off the sphere. Oh, damn, it just works. Now if I click on the sphere. All right. Oh, shit. Don't, when things work, they just... There's no way I could have figured out the math for this. We already spoke for 2 hours about how bad my math is. Okay, run. I got no problem, by the way, using AI for this kind of thing to do some of these things that I know I could never figure the math out for, because for me, it's about getting the end result, not how much code I understand. Well, sorry, not understand. How much code I can write, and that's just a personal choice, right? But I do want to understand the code that it creates. And I sure as hell, I'm not going to understand. Oh man, this is so good. Jeez. All right. Ah, rabbit hole to success. I want each mesh. What did I call them? I want it to understand what I'm saying. I want each when a new mesh is created, I want it to have a new random color based on color, just like the sphere, but only on the new mesh part. I don't think it's going to figure this out, because now we're talking about multiple UV maps, and I don't know. We'll see. I also now let's do this part first. I feel like this might trip it up. It's drizzling. I just got to believe harder. But every time I believe, something happens. See, there's no way I could generate this code in a couple of seconds. Just no way. It's doing a lot of drizzling today, isn't it? Okay, good. It found the texture generator, which was stupidly simple to create. It's just a checkered texture. I'm sorry, this is probably over the chat. I should move this over, shouldn't I? Yeah, I don't know squat about using the render pipelines and so on. I'm not a genius like this guy, NZ. He's a genius. Okay. Yes, you are. All right, here we go. I don't feel like it did generate a new random color, right? It's just changing the whole thing every time. And that's not really doing anything. It is not working as expected. It still changes the whole mesh texture color. I want the new, pyramid to have different colors to the rest of the mesh. I didn't think that would, we're asking a little much here, because now we're asking it to generate a new texture, I think with multiple, like each one having a UV map instead of the whole thing having a UV map. Of which I got no chance of figuring that out. I'll be honest. I make it up like you do. Yeah, but when you make it up, it works. When I make it up, it's like a whole 2-hour ordeal to fix it. Okay, so it replaced. So it's using the standard one as a fallback. Now let me ensure the mesh has vertex colors initialized from the start. Okay. All right. Germinating. All right, what did you do? Custom shader. Initialize all base mesh vertices to white color. Okay, on start. This ensures the original sphere displays the check. Yeah, okay. New geometry will have random colors that blend with the textures. Okay, how it works now. Base sphere, all vertices are white. That's probably wrong. Well, maybe not if it's just vertices. New pyramids gets a random. You may be making solid textures, but maybe that's okay. And now that. Okay, we must not. So what we don't want is the sphere to have just one uniform color, because it'll never look like it's rotating. Well, I guess the spikes will show it now, but like it's weird that it starts with the half like that, but if I rotate it, you can clearly see that's not what it is, right? All right, here we go. Is it? Yeah, actually that is different. All right, auto click time. There you go. Is it so it regenerates the texture each time? Maybe not quite what I want, but still it's fun. That's a really horrible set of colors. Wow. Don't ever let me have a suit in that texture, please. I could not pull that off in public. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to be able to use the mouse scroll wheel to zoom in and out. I think this was inevitable, right? To be fair, I could have coded that. I'm just being lazy right now. I mean, it's basically just adjusting the location of the camera along one vertices. Yeah. Okay, good. We can set min, max, and so on. Okay. Here we go. Of course, we'd want pinch to zoom at this point, right? For a touch interface. Okay, if I zoom, I don't think it's working, but I think what I probably got to do, yeah, okay, zoom speed is very small. Randomly pick a number of 10. I don't know what these numbers are. I'm assuming maybe they're some, like, just, you know, I don't feel like it's zooming. That'll be easier to see for sure. Yeah, I don't think it is. Razzle dazzling. You're right. Oh, then why did you... See, this is what pisses me off about these things. You're right. Let me fix it. Well, you should have checked that yourself. The issue is likely with how I'm reading and processing the scroll input. Well, then you should have been self-correcting. I shouldn't have to put, like, make sure this works, right? Removed the time delta time scroll wheel input. Not continuous. Oh my god, why did you do it that way to begin with? Yeah, that you did not do a good job on that to begin with. Right? Although I still don't think it's working. I should have just done this bit by hand. Yeah, add debug logging. That's what you should have done. I should have just done this bit by hand. I should have let the machine do the complicated part with the textures and the vertices and everything else. I should have done this bit by hand. This is my fault for being lazy. It is detecting the scroll though. If you watch... Well, it was. There you go. It is detecting the scroll. But I'm scrolling like mad and nothing's happening. let's feed it this information. Okay, it looks like it is detecting the scroll, but the zoom on the screen is not showing. I'm giving you all the information I can. You're right. I'm not wait, what? Okay. I did try scrolling up, you ass. I probably just showed you the wrong bit of the log. Look, I'm scrolling up and down like a madman, okay? See, I told you there'd be a point at which I should not get hopeful. The camera position is changing significantly, but you're not seeing it move on screen. This suggests the camera might be constrained by another script or component, or the camera is a child object that's being reset. Okay, I'm not going to disagree. Okay. Wait. The camera is a child of another object. Well, yes. Okay, so you drastically changed the values. Well done. Shimmying. Shimmying we are. All right. Can't beat a good shimmy. Shimmy sham. Okay. Smoothly. Well, okay. Okay. Well, it's not smooth, but it's doing it. All right. So we need to make sure that it's always... Yeah, you're changing the field of view. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's do this. 4,000 clicks. Here we go. Yeah, well, that's doing it. Okay, we need to fix one thing here, which should be simple. That should be simple enough to do. You just need the camera target to point at the sphere all the time. Thank you. All right, that should have been a very easy fix. But yet you got it wrong. Wow. How did you get that wrong? Let's make sure it's not me. Hang on. No, I think it's focusing right there. You know what? That may be. Maybe this is my fault. Wow, sort of. The sphere. The camera should really point to its rotation point, right? The camera should always be pointing towards the sphere's rotation point. See, folks, you can't. AI is not gonna. You can't. You got to be able to communicate with AI and tell it what you need, right? It's not just a straight up. You can't just. These folks who are like, AI is just going to do everything for you. No, because it doesn't understand some concepts, right? You need to be able to tell it what it needs to do. It's not always going to. It's not going to turn around and say, "Hey, I think you should be You mean this, right? You know what I mean? It's not all just automatic, no user input, no. Look, it's still got it wrong, right? It's still not right. And how do we know this? Because if we go back over to the scene and we try to find our sphere. Oh, actually, you know what? The sphere doesn't get... Yeah, I generate it with code, don't I? So, actually, that's not going to work. The camera is still focusing on the top of the sphere, not the center of the sphere when zooming. So the sphere does not stay in the middle of the viewable area, viewable screen. And all this really should be is, when updating the frame, make sure the camera target is in the middle of the sphere. The sphere's transformation point might be at its visual center. I'm assuming it is because you're rotating around it just perfectly. Yeah. The actual sphere center. Oh my god. Okay. Caramelizing. Nice. All right. Are you caramelized? No, you still got it wrong. Oh my god, it's still wrong. Tricky part here is I need to actually, I think there is actually the right zoom level. Nope. Still wrong. Yeah, doesn't it? Oh, Adam Wolf, my friend, the nightmares we put ourselves through. I remember when you were doing, was it the connecting lines in Muse? You were trying to do the connecting lines or something, and it was giving you some nightmares. Yeah. I see a lot of logging here, but I really probably should have used Bezier, because Bezier can actually directly access the Unity console and log. And so I wouldn't need to tell it. It would like, Oh, you've added, see, you cheated. You added some offsets. That's cheating. That's cheating. Hold on. If the sphere appears below center, which it does, the camera is looking too high. Try setting look at offset Y to a positive value. Well, why don't you fix it? Okay, well, 2. I feel like this is its way of saying I couldn't figure it out. You figure it out. Right? I really feel like that's what it's doing to me. Like, I don't know. If I just give you this box to put a number in, you solved the problem. And it's still not really solving the problem, right? I mean, look, if I... I think it's lying to me. I don't think it's doing anything. I don't think it's doing a damn thing. Okay. Entering numbers in the look at offset does not seem to change anything. It's going to come back and say, you're right. I see the issue. Those are all debug logs from the position-based zoom. Since you have use field of zoom view set to true, you should only see FOV logs. Let me clean up all the debug logs and verify the FOV zoom is working. I feel like it's saying, let me just do my homework again, right? Oh. You think, like, in our day jobs as programmers, if we were to say to, like, someone, hey, we've lost millions of dollars, you're right, let me just clear up the logs, that would work? I don't think so. A visual debug helper to show where the camera is looking. Please do. I was going to draw a gizmo now. Woo! We are in the land of gizmos, folks. Please run the game again and share the initial setup log output, a few FOV zoom log lines, and then turn me off and go to bed. Where the green is positioned, and they... Okay, that's a lot to take in. Well, sure, I'll do that. Okay. I think I got them. I don't see any red or green. I don't see any red or green gizmos. Where are the gizmos? I don't frickin' see them. If it comes back and says, you're right, I forgot to put them on the screen. Look, they're not old debug logs. I literally just gave you the new ones. Let me, don't, just... The code is... Don't you start arguing with me, Claude. Go to Assets, Refresh, or Control R. Wait a few seconds. Okay. Boy, it's getting picky, isn't it? What was it? Assets, Refresh. Alright, look, there's nothing in the freaking console. Don't you start arguing with me, compiler. Okay? Look. I'm copying that over. Don't you give me shit now. You know that AI knows it's losing the battle when it starts giving you shit, right? I don't need to look at the line. In Unity, select your sphere game object in the hierarchy. Look at the inspector panel on the right. Find the evolution sphere component. Under zoom settings, you'll see look at offset. Change the Y value from 10 to 0. Okay. Alright. Okay. Jesus. Alright. I'll do it. I'll do what you ask, computer. I did what you asked. I'm gonna give you that while I'm doing it. And you're so not right, computer. Right, look. Okay? Okay? I'm now gonna give you all of this. And you're gonna tell me. It's not me. It does not stay in the center. Why? Because life. I didn't see her. Okay. Now you see the problem. The issue is that the sphere is rotating when you drag it. Don't blame me. Its transform position never moves. Okay. Yeah, its transform position should be in the center, so I'm not going to disagree with you. Okay. But you're still wrong. Nope, still wrong. You damn stupid thing. You wouldn't think this would be that hard, right? I should have done this by hand. If the fix is so simple, why can you not get it right? The problem was the solution Unity still hasn't recompiled. It's still using the old code. Let me force Unity to reload. Wow. Ooh. Okay. I don't know about that. Hey, Adam Wolf. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Have a good one. Thank you for streaming earlier, by the way. Greatly appreciate that. Hope we get good news about the simulator. Never relaunched Unity. Oh, let me just crash Unity for you and then not open it again. Yeah. Send me the beta when you ship it later tonight. You betcha. I know you want to randomly tap. Actually, tapping on spheres would be a great way if you just tell yourself that's your bug. And then you just, you know. Can I tap faster than my M1? Ooh, yeah, probably. Yeah. It's still not doing it. I mean, what do you have to tell a machine to get it right? Nope. You are still not fixing the problem. It's still zooming at the top of the sphere. In a minute, I'm going to do this by hand. Get yourself an M4. Just saying. It's going to say, you're right. I see the issue now. The setup shows the target is correct. But during scroll, it's blah, blah, blah. This means something is changing sphere center between start and update, or the sphere game object itself is being moved. Let me check what's in the actual file. Let me actually look at the problem now that I wasted all your tokens. This is what happens every time. It starts out good, and then there's just a point where it just craps the bed. Boy, it really wants to blame Unity, doesn't it? A nuclear option? What? There's a nuclear option? Oh, that's not good. See, you've really done it this time. Oh dear. That's not good. What did you do? You completely busted it. Did you wipe out a bunch of... Oh, you know what? I bet you want me to reassign a bunch of shit, don't you? Oh no, deleting that cache broke Unity's script references. Don't worry, we can fix this. Oh my god. Oh my god. When it goes boom, doesn't it? It trashed the assets probably for the plugins that I use in Unity is probably what it did. Of which Text Mesh Pro would be one of those. Okay. Now we're good. But you still done broke it. I apologize for that. Yes, you should. Is the sphere game object a child of another object? No, I don't believe it is. Hang on, let me find the... Where is the sphere? What happened to my sphere? I can't select it when it's not a thing. Not a thing. This is not something I can do. Really? You generated the script, for crying out loud. Don't blame me. You made that. Oh, wait. Well, I wrote the script, but you should know it's there. It has a brown game object. Don't get busy with me. Oh, God. Yeah. Did you grep it wrong? You can't even do a grep at this point? Why do I feel like it's blaming me? I feel like I'm being bullied by AI at this point. All right, you really think you have? Okay. We'll see. Yeah, you totally didn't. You really didn't. Nope. Still the same. Every time you think you fix this. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know this. Okay. Finally. Wow. It took take a long time to get there. Okay. Let's do the auto click. All right. Now, hold on. This is where we can have some fun because what we could do. There it is. We can actually change this so that base clicks to evolve, evolution multiplier of 2, evolutions per texture change. Okay, so we actually can change this to... We can make this happen an awful lot quicker if I change that to 1. One click will evolve it. Well, actually, it's a multiplier of 2, so instead of 5, it's really, yeah, we're still going to get a lot higher. Okay, zoom in, yeah. Okay, so let's replace pyramids with spheres. Don't give me that great idea crap. Yeah, good. That's more like it. It's a lot simpler. We don't need any of this mesh filter crap, or yeah. So we're just going to go with spheres. Okay, make it so the new generated spheres have a random random size between 1 to 5% of the standard sphere, standard generated sphere size. Okay, that makes sense to me. Interesting that it must be using what would have been the top of the pyramid as the location point. for the transform, for the new spheres, right? Okay, let's change this. So evolutions per text change is going to be 1. I don't think I can change that. Let's make it. Okay, we're going to evolve with each click. Okay. This should get wacky. Yeah, that's about what I was expecting. Yeah, it's going nuts now. It's still trying to do it. That's actually what I was expecting it to like totally freak out. Yeah. It's still. Okay. Um. All right. Make the size range of the generated spheres twice the current values. Also, it seems the generated spheres are not showing the checkered texture anymore. Which is because you need to generate a new UV map for this, or what? Well, actually, it should do it itself. I feel like I've made an art generator at this point. Okay, while it's doing that, I'll be right back. All right. Uh, okay, let's see what we got. Yeah, there we go. Well, that is what we want it to be. Didn't this get freaky weird fast? All right. What should we do with it next? Oh, I know. I want make it so that there is a line, a visible line connecting the generated sphere to the main sphere. It should have the same texture as the generated sphere, but be 1/3 of the width of the generated sphere. Okay, now I feel like we really are making some kind of molecule disease. This is getting in a very weird direction. Yeah, basically a cylinder. Yeah. Okay. This should be weird. That is what they are. Yep. I do not know what we are creating here, but it's fun. Let me see if I can click the button, mouse with 2 fingers here. All right. We're going to leave it there for tonight. This is a lot of fun. we're gonna keep playing with this. I feel like we got something here. I don't know what we got, but we got it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you all hanging out here. Jeez, it's like, was it nearly 2 o'clock in the morning? Yeah. All right. Wow. Over 3.5 hour stream. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. We will keep going with this. I feel like I got something going on here that's worth pursuing. I don't know what it is, but we'll find out. Have a great one, everybody, and we will catch up next time. I believe. I'm not sure if anyone's streaming tomorrow, but we will see. That's it. Have an awesome one, everyone. See ya.